OmniFocus 2.1 is a significant update that brings new features, bug fixes, and improvements to OmniFocus on iOS. This is also the first universal release of the app, meaning that OmniFocus 2.1 Universal will run on both iPhones and iPads. If you previously purchased OmniFocus 2 for iPad, you'll receive OmniFocus 2.1 Universal free of charge. And if you purchased OmniFocus 2 for iPhone, you'll have the option of upgrading to the Universal app. Please visit the Omni Group's website at omnigroup.com for more information. In this video, we'll look at some of the new features that were introduced in 2.1. While I'll be focusing on the iPhone, everything I'll be showing you is supported on the iPad as well. We'll start by looking at new features that are available with the standard version of OmniFocus 2.1 Universal, and then we'll look at features that are included with the Pro upgrade that is available as an in-app purchase. First up is Review. While this feature has always been available on the iPad, it hasn't been available on the iPhone until now. Let's look at how it works. A new review item now appears on the home screen that includes a number indicating how many projects are waiting for review. When I tap on Review, I'm taken to a list of the projects that are awaiting review. I'll start my review by tapping the first project in the list. From here, I can change the review frequency by tapping Review Every. I can tap Review Every to adjust the review frequency, and I can tap Next Review to manually set the date for the next review. I'll leave this as is, and then tap in the upper left to go back to the project view. If necessary, I can tap on the name of the project to make changes, such as marking it complete or assigning a defer until date. I'll leave the project settings unchanged and tap in the upper left to go back to the project view. At this point, I would go through the contents of the project and make any adjustments that are necessary. This could include marking actions complete, changing the order of actions, and adding new actions that support the project outcome. When I'm done, I'll tap Mark Reviewed to mark the project reviewed, and we'll go on to the next project. The project I just reviewed will appear in the review list when it's up for review again, in this case a week from now. OmniFocus 2.1 Universal also supports the landscape orientation on the iPhone. So if I rotate my iPhone, you'll notice that OmniFocus goes into landscape mode. If you're using OmniFocus on an iPhone 6 Plus, the home screen will appear in the left portion of the screen so that you can conveniently jump between different perspectives. By tapping the double arrow icon, you can hide the home screen to give yourself more room to see your OmniFocus library, and you can restore the home screen sidebar simply by tapping the button in the upper left. OmniFocus 2.1 Universal also brings grouping and sorting to the flagged perspective on the iPhone. To access this feature, tap Flagged from the home screen, and then swipe down and tap View. Once you've set the view options that you'd like to use, tap Done. The following new features that we'll be looking at require that you have the Pro edition of OmniFocus 2.1 Universal. If you previously purchased the Pro upgrade to OmniFocus 2 for iPad, you've already paid for these features. To upgrade to Pro, swipe down and tap Settings, then Upgrade to Pro. You'll see a summary of the new features that come with the Pro upgrade, and we'll have the option to check for a free upgrade, to purchase the Pro upgrade, or to restore purchases. I've already purchased the Pro upgrade and will go ahead and restore this purchase. After upgrading to the Pro Edition, there will be two more buttons available when you swipe down on the home screen. The button on the left allows you to create a new perspective, and the one on the right allows you to customize the home screen, rearranging the existing perspectives and adding in custom ones that you've created. There are also buttons to switch between viewing your favorite perspectives and viewing all perspectives. Let's start by creating a new perspective. This is a feature that has been available since the launch of OmniFocus 2 for iPad, but hasn't been available on the iPhone until now. I'll tap the Add Perspective button to create a new perspective. Specifically, I'll create a perspective that shows all available items that are either due or flagged. I'll call this perspective Important, and we'll tap on the default icon to choose a new icon. Let's choose the flame icon. As I'm sure many of you will be happy to hear, the iPhone now supports both context and project-based perspectives. In addition to being able to create project-based perspectives on the iPhone, you'll be able to make use of any that you've created on the Mac or iPad. For this example, I'll leave the setting as Don't Use Project Hierarchy. I'll choose to group actions by and choose Project. And I'll change Filter by Status to Do or Flagged. And change Filter by Availability to Available, so that I'm not seeing any actions that are deferred or on hold. I'll also set Filter Context to Active. This way, when the perspective is used on the Mac, the sidebar will only list contexts that are associated with available actions. I could also filter by text contained within the name or notes field, and could have this project focus in on a specific folder or project. This could be useful if I wanted to create a perspective that showed important tasks in a specific area of life. I could also choose to filter the list to only show specific contexts. For example, I might want to show important actions that have a context of focus. I'll just leave this as is and tap Save to create the perspective. Notice that my important perspective now appears among the list of other perspectives that I created previously on the Mac and iPad. If I tap on this perspective, I'll see a list of all available actions that are either due or flagged. If I decide I want to customize this perspective, I can tap on View and make some changes. For example, let's say that I'd rather group actions by due rather than by project. I'll tap on Group Actions By and change the setting to Due, and then tap Done to save the changes to the perspective. The list still shows items that are due or flagged, but they're now grouped based on when they're due instead of by project. Next, let's look at how we can customize the layout of the home screen. There are a couple of ways to get into the layout mode. You can either swipe down on the home screen and tap the tile button that we saw earlier, or you can tap and hold on any of the home screen tiles. For this demo, I'll tap and hold on the inbox tile. Notice that the screen changes. All of the perspectives, including both the built-in and custom ones, are displayed as distinct tiles on a gray background. You can rearrange the tiles that currently appear on the home page by tapping and holding on the tile that you want to move and dragging it to its new location. For example, I could swap positions for flagged and projects by dragging the flagged perspective to the right. If I drag flag to the space between the tiles, this perspective is given its own row. And if I don't want a perspective to be included on the home screen, I can drag it down to the Other Perspectives area. For example, I'll remove the flagged perspective. You can also add any perspective listed under Other Perspectives to the home screen. Let's add the important perspective that we created earlier. I'll scroll down to find this perspective, and then tap and hold and drag this perspective into the home screen area. I'll position it on the same row as projects. Once you're done making changes, tap the Done button in the upper right. If you'd prefer to discard any layout changes that you've made, simply tap the Cancel button. I'll go ahead and tap Done to commit the change. Lastly, let's look at the enhancement to the Today extension that comes with OmniFocus 2.1 Universal. If I swipe down from the top of the screen, I'll see the OmniFocus widget in my Today view. If you're not seeing this widget, scroll down to the bottom of the Today view and tap Edit, and then tap the green plus button to add OmniFocus to the Today view. In previous versions of OmniFocus, the Today view showed items that were due soon, which was handy but limited in some cases. In OmniFocus 2.1, you can customize what information is displayed in the Today view. Let's see how this works. I'll swipe up from the bottom of the screen to hide the Today view for now, and then we'll swipe down on the OmniFocus screen and go into Settings. From here, I can customize the Today view settings by tapping on Today. Currently, the setting is set to Due Today, but if you're using either the Standard or Pro edition of OmniFocus 2.1 Universal, you can change the setting to show all actions that are deferred until today or due today. And if you're using the Pro Edition, you can choose one of your custom perspectives. Let's choose the important perspective that we created earlier. I'll tap Custom Perspective, and then choose Important from the list. I'll then tap Settings and Done to go back to the home screen. Now if I swipe down from the top of the screen, I'll be taken to the Today view, and we'll see some of the items in the important list. If I want to see the full list, it's a simple matter of tapping below the list. As you'll see, I'm taken to the important perspective in OmniFocus. I hope that this gives you a good taste of what's possible with OmniFocus 2.1 Universal. We'll be delving further into these features in articles, videos, and webinars on Learn OmniFocus. And a big thanks to all of the talented folks at the Omni Group for all the time and energy they put into this release. I'm Tim Stringer from Learn OmniFocus. Thanks for watching.